talking about how to overcome failure and rise again. What do you do when life knocks you down? This morning, Mornings in the Lab. Good morning. Yep. Good morning. Somebody's in the mood this morning. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where we get real about growth, goals, and all the growth and not the grind. No, not the grind, but the privilege and the gratitude it takes to get you there. And on that way, you're going to experience some failure. And we're going to talk about it today. Hey, I'm your host. I'm Keith Billis. And before we jump into it, this is an R-rated experience. Oh, yeah. Just saying. Yeah, just saying that if you have some children around, I'm just saying, if I didn't warn you if you have some children around, put the headphones on or walk them out of the room. But most importantly, you might want to keep them in the room because today's topic is one that we all face. Yep. It's something we all face. Some of us face it daily. It's called failure. We're going to dive deep into how to rise from failure and turn those setbacks into comebacks. And I know John Anderson has a few things to say about that today on the show, and Marty and Christina as well. Adam House Sr. joins us later in the deep dive. Plus, I have a topic in the morning loop that I know nobody's expecting because, gentlemen, you may be packing something you don't even know about. No, I don't even know if producer Jimmy knows what I'm going to talk about. I found it last night at the hockey game, hanging out with my family, and my dad and I found this topic, and I looked at him and he said, "Oh, yeah, baby. That's going to be for the show today." Hey, but first, like the show. If you like the show, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment. How do you handle failure? But before we move any further, let's see what the team is rocking today. Jimmy, let's bring him up on stage here. Let's pivot the camera. We got Marty in the green, less brunches, more crunches with traditional red headset. Christina's rocking black on black. And of course, Johnny's rocking strong as fuck today with the black hat, black glasses. And of course, I'm wearing black on black with the green camouflage hat. You actually can't see my head today because I'm camouflaged. I'm headless Keith today. How are you guys? What's going on today? What's going on in Business Athlete Nation? Marty, how are you, pal? I feel like you're in a mood today, Marty.
What kind of mood?
Just because he wasn't bouncing around like you before we got a little bit more, he was a little more selective with the caffeine today than you were.
Been jumping with, I feel Marty's like,
oh, yeah.
Marty's ready.
Oh, okay.
I got to say,
I'm awake and I'm fit and I'm here. I'm always good, man.
What's shaking in Mexico, Mr. John Anderson? How are you today, brother?
It's beautiful down here. It was 90 degrees yesterday. The beach is looking good. Down here is so different. I mean, you can literally get in the dune buggy. We're right at the beach. You could get on the dune buggy and you could go 10 miles either direction of the beach and nobody cares.
Oh,
yeah. California, you take a dune buggy on the beach, man, you got 100 yards, you're getting arrested. They're confiscating your vehicle.
Just how it works. What about you, producer Flynn? What's going on, coach?
I need to get a dune buggy. That's what I need.
Oh, dude, it's the cool. It's like the 1970s with the big rounded fenders and shit. It's cool. I'm going to have it repainted like the crazy green from the 70s. So it's going to be a full-blown 70s mobile before too long.
That's fun. I think you need to send pictures or provide some video for us. Love to see you rocking and rolling on the beaches there with John Anderson driving the dune buggy. Good morning. Mina, I see you there in the comments there. Good morning. Welcome to Morning with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to get you guys out of bed in the morning. And I don't know where you're from, but we are here in North America, starting in the mornings here with everybody here in North America. But hey, listen, you guys ready to jump into a topic of failure and bouncing back? I know you are, Anderson. I know you talk about failure always being part of the process, but listen, I'm going to take my old glasses off and I want to get real for a quick second with you guys. I got to tell you, and I know Tina might argue with me on this one, and I'm suspecting she might want to arm wrestle me.
I argue with you on most things, so let's.
Yeah, but listen.
I was going to say she's a good arguer. That's just who she is. But it has some wonderful perspectives.
This is right. Listen, I failed, Tina, Marty, Johnny. I failed more times than I can count. Yep, true story. And every time I thought, is this it? Fuck, man. I got on the bike this morning and I was going through I did a pro ride and at one point I was starting to fail. But I realized that failure was only final, John, Marty, if I let it be failure in that moment. So I've learned, and I know you guys have learned, to see failure as feedback. Truly feedback, not a stop sign. I sat down with somebody yesterday, had an awesome meeting with a fellow yesterday, and he talked about his journey through life and just exploring feedback along the way. Exploring failure along the way and taking it as feedback. And I'll tell you how I've dealt with Failure Nation and how I rose again was I stopped seeing failure as something to fear. It's just a step. It's not the end of the road. And second, I accepted the pain of failure. Oh, fuck, man. Did I fail many times? You're like, all right, failure. And you accept the pain mentally, accept it physically, but you got to sit with it. Johnny, you got to sit with the failure. You got to understand it. You got to have that awareness with it. Then you got to move forward with it as fuel. You got to walk towards it and go, oh, I'm fucking struggling right now. And then third, you got to double down. You got to double down on what worked and you got to ditch the rest. And sometimes you got to say no first before you say yes to a lot more. Success doesn't come from sheer grit alone. There is some strategy involved, but it does require showing up. Here's the thing, nation. Here's the thing. Failure isn't final unless you decide that it is. John always says, or I don't know what the fuck he says, a correct man or an incorrect man is both the same. But the reality is you adjust, you pull a new lever, and you got to keep going. So every time I've been knocked down, Business Athlete Nation, every time I've learned that resilience isn't about being tough. Fuck no. It's about being flexible. And listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. You can't rise if you never fail. So today we're leaning into that whole idea of failing and rising bigger than you've ever been before. Johnny, Christina.
I got to say something. Here. This is the deal. All right. Listen to me when I say this, people.
We listen.
Fail fast, because you're going to have to fail X amount of times. We don't know what X is, but you're going to have to fail X amount of times to get to your goal. So the longer you wait to fail, the longer you're going to wait to get to your goal. And the only way as long as you've got the nuts to stand up one more time and you fell down, you're not failing. You're just making small steps forward. You're testing, you're learning. So this whole thing behind failure, it's all the pussies out there all the pussies who are too chicken shit to step on the line and take a swing. They're the ones that badmouth failure because they're too chicken shit to give it a go. Failure's the front door to success. So listen to me, people. Fast. Don't wait to fail. Go get it.
Marty.
I'm right there with you, man. I say this too. It's just going to happen. You get through one obstacle, there's another one coming. So don't ever get through a failure and think that you're done. I got through it. Life's a breeze now. No, there's another one coming. And I always talk about on this show, I pride myself in you can't even tell what I'm going through. I'm nothing. I don't look like what I'm going through, right? You're going to get up, fight another day. It's like war. You're like a soldier. So it is what it is. It's just part of the game.
We're going to come back to failure in center stage in about 6 minutes or so. And Christina, I'm going to kick that conversation up with you. But I want to switch gears and I want to keep us on track with something that I found yesterday were pretty funny. As I was saying in my opening monologue there, was sitting back preparing for the show and find something with Pops with Shaken Dad. And I got a wild one. Oh, yeah. And the story we found is funny because we're relating to it with my father, whose dad's, was he turning 81 or 82 this year? But you're not going to believe. An autopsy recently revealed, John, Marty, Christina, a 78-year-old man had not one, not two, but he had 3 penises.
Holy shit.
True story. Yeah, you heard me right.
Were they all coming out of his scrotum or were they all placed in different spots?
You heard me correct. 3 penises. This man lived his whole life completely unaware of this insane condition called Trifalia. Trifalia, Marty, is so rare that only one other documented case exists. And what's even crazier, Tina, is this guy may have lived his whole life never knowing he had this unique anatomy.
I got to ask, how do you not know if you got 3 dicks?
There's a joke here. John.
I'm just telling you. So
there's a hidden joke here. Keith is going to, bam. We're not going to laugh.
I think he's coming home with one of these real news reports that he dug up that was just left national.
Joke. This is a joke.
No, there's no joke here. I'm telling you, Marty, this condition called supernumerary penile formation is estimated to happen in 1.56 million births. But here's the thing. Sometimes the extra organs, they develop internally, meaning you might not even see or feel them. So Johnny, to answer your question, the guy only had 1 fully functional one. He had 2 internally in his body. So there you go.
That makes a little more sense.
He was hanging out with 2 inside, 1 hanging out, didn't even know until he died. So there you go. So how do you think you'd walk around having 3 penises hanging out of the scrotum if you had 3 penises?
So I was wondering. I was like, Jesus Christ, that's a lot to handle there.
Yeah.
For most men, managing 1 gets you in trouble. You got 3, what the hell are you going to do with that?
I'll tell you what, that guy wasn't scared to fail anything, huh? I was waiting for something like that from Keith, but it didn't happen.
I didn't have it. I don't have Seth.
I was wrong. My bad.
I don't have Seth Kuhn, my joke writer, with me. Actually, speaking of, I do have. So here, I'm thinking the big takeaway here is this: you never know what's going on under the surface. You just never know what's going on under the surface. It's like we talk about the show, right? You never know. You never want to judge you never want to judge a book what's going on under the cover. So
2% of an iceberg is underwater, baby.
That's right. That's exactly it. So,
what is so funny about that, Marty? Come on, man. Let's get to that word. I love it. No. The tip back. That's good, but I want to know why that's so funny about an iceberg. That's just
you have a saying for everything. I think it's amazing, Johnny. I love it. That's all it is. That's all that is.
Brother. Thank you.
Hey, Johnny, Marty. So I was looking at I got a joke here from Kuhn that I've been waiting to pull out on the table here. And look, maybe it's the right time to do before the accountability checking, but it's for men. What's the difference between light and hard?
What?
What's the difference between light and hard?
Light and hard?
Are we still talking about male penises, or is this just a generalized question?
I don't know. I'm just asking the question.
Did we switch gears here, or are we still talking about the dude with 3 dicks?
We're talking about what's the difference between light and hard.
Totally. And I just want to know, did we change topics or are we still talking about three dick?
We're still talking about the same thing.
We're talking about three dick dude. Okay. Three dick and what's the difference between light and hard? That's a hell of a question.
Yeah.
Damn.
What is it, Keith?
I got
What
you.
is it, Keith?
So you can fall asleep with the light on. Oh, there you go.
There's your joke, Marty.
That's
There you
it,
go.
That's it. Jimmy, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. Seth, I'm trying, man. Business Athlete Nation, I got my closet joke writer, Seth Kuhn, a business athlete for life. He is an honorary member, dude. He's always welcome on the show. Like I'm gonna put Seth over there. Just next to me. He's gonna write live on the show for me so I can just get better at telling jokes. I'm the worst joke teller there is. Marty's, yep, you are, Billis. You're worse than worst. All right, it's time for the accountability check.